Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're well. I'm hiding in the garage for this one. It is hot. Well, one thing I'm keeping an eye on is this business to do with the welfare situation. Welfare reform with PIP and everything else that's going on. There's a high number of, individuals, for want of a better word, in this country who are in dire need of help from the government because either they can't work or they've worked for years, and because of some kind of disability or other issue that's occurred, they're no longer able to work. Time and time again, they're the victims of government squeeze, government problems. Meanwhile, they're spaffing money here, there, and everywhere. It really isn't fair. There is a large percentage of people out there that do take the piss, to be blunt, who don't deserve any of it. But equally, there are large numbers that aren't, that need that money, need that stuff in their banks to be able to survive, to be able to live. You know, PIP, for example, it's often misunderstood what that's actually for. It's to assist in day-to-day living costs for somebody with a disability. You know, it's very much needed funds when their own ability to generate those funds is severely limited. It's all been kicking off in Parliament, of course, and there's a growing swell, a growing, anger over this. And you can see this here. PM tells Cabinet we will reform welfare amid backbench rebellion over plans. Now, that to me tells me that he don't give a shit and he's going to press ahead with stuff anyway. Now, that accompanies a news piece, which I want to read to you because I think it is important. Sir Keir Starmer faces a showdown with Labour rebels after vowing to press ahead with welfare reform, despite a brewing revolt over planned cuts to disability benefits. Now, this really gets to me because it's all about politics, all about rebellion. You know, what about the needs of the constituents? What about them? This is where party politics gets in the way. The Prime Minister on Tuesday said the government must make hard, honest choices in a defiant message after some 108 MPs from within his party signed a Commons bid to stop the changes in their tracks. Meanwhile, Work and Pension Secretary Liz Kendall, who has already agreed to soften the impact of the welfare bill, is locked in talks with backbenchers as she seeks to win over those opposed to the plans. Now, here's the quote here, right? The welfare system is broken, and that's why we will press ahead with our reforms, peddling out the same old crap they have done for ages. The size of the rebellion is enough to threaten Sir Keir's majority and defeat the government's plan if opposition MPs sided with the backbenchers. Now, what he's been historically doing with people that disagree with the party line is withdrawing the whip, so then it would affect his majority. The amendment was published on Tuesday's order paper and calls for a pause, allowing for further scrutiny of the bill and for the support to be in place before any further cuts are made. So it's going ahead, isn't it, really? And when you look at the weight of numbers, the amount of Labour to the amount of the sums don't add up. Even if some do rebel, is it really going to be enough? Asked whether he would consider pausing his plans in light of the rebellion, the Prime Minister told reporters travelling with him to the NATO summit in the Netherlands, we were elected to change what is broken in our country. Well, you fucked it up even worse, really, haven't you, Prime Minister? The welfare system is broken, and that's why we will press ahead with our reforms. It's very important that we do so because the current system is not working for anybody. People are trapped in it, and I'm not prepared to allow this to happen. So we will press forward with our reforms. He added there was a clear moral case for the changes with 1,000 people a day going on to PIP. That's not a system that can be left unreformed, not least because it's unsustainable, and therefore you won't have a welfare system for those that need it in the future. Well, 1,000 people a day going on to PIP, you've got to ask yourself why that is in the first place. What society-wise is broken that's making this happen? Sir Keir said the additions to PIP each year are the equivalent of the population of a city the size of Leicester. I bet they are, and our population's exploding as well all of the time. And that's a conversation for another time. That's not a system that can be left unreformed, not least because it's unsustainable, and therefore you won't have a welfare system for those that need it in the future. Perhaps they're trying to get rid, maybe. Earlier, the Prime Minister has told his ministers at a cabinet meeting, we will reform welfare and defended the government's efforts to fix what he calls a broken system. Now, one of the things they're talking about, particularly with PIP, is changing the way in which points are awarded. And anyone that has PIP knows you've got to get a certain number of points in a certain number of categories to qualify for it. And you'll end up with people on PIP which will lose it that rely on it. It's disgraceful. Downing Street declined to say whether any cabinet member expressed concern about the welfare bill when asked by journalists on Tuesday, insisting it would never get into details of the high-level ministerial meeting. Yeah, that probably means there was those that expressed concern. The cabinet collectively supports the government's agenda, a Downing Street spokesman said. In a readout of the meeting on Tuesday, he said the Prime Minister opened cabinet by setting out that the government has a clear mission to rebuild Britain, fix what's broken, and restore hope, and that requires hard, honest choices. The same line peddled out again. He said nowhere is that clearer than in the welfare system the government inherited. You didn't inherit anything. You were in government before that lot, and you fucked it up then too. He said the system is currently failing people, trapping millions, telling them the only way to get help is to declare they will never work again, and then abandoning them without hope and opportunity. Well, there's some people that work hard all their lives, you see, and they can't anymore. And yes, maybe they feel abandoned, chucked on the scrap heap. I'm not saying they don't. Maybe support them rather than trying to pressure them into doing something that they're not able to do. The Prime Minister underlined that the government does not accept that. We will reform welfare to provide one-to-one support to help people trying to work safely. It's the Tory thing, isn't it? This is why we call them the Uni Party. They all sound the same. Protect people with lifelong conditions from endless reassessments and increase the basic level of support for low-income families. That means the government will always protect those who can't work, will provide real opportunity for those who can, define who can and who can't. I'm not buying any of this. It's all wordplay. And we'll build a welfare system that's fair, strong, and there for the people who need it for years to come. The Work and Pension Secretary said these reforms are about creating a society rooted in fairness with strong safeguards to protect the most vulnerable. Several Labour Select Committee chairs were among those who put their name to the amendment, including Treasury Committee Chairman Dame Meg Hiller and Work and Pension Committee Chairman Debbie Abrahams. Vicky Foxtrot, the government whip who resigned over the welfare plans, has also signed. So it's literally, we're going to follow the party line. We're going to change the welfare system. We're going to fix broken Britain. We inherited this. We want to support, so many people are sitting there quaking in their boots thinking, how are they going to screw it up now, really? Let me know what you think in the comments, particularly if you're affected by all of this, and I'm sure many of you are. Please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. This video that's just popped up here is another one of my videos where I talk about this subject. It is important for a great many people. As always, I look forward to talking to you soon. Toodaloo.